we're back at Bloodbath Tactics. It has been a little while, so we do apologize for the wait. We have quite a bit some busy weekends behind us there. So now we're out and doing some content here. We actually just had a major tournament, 58 player GT over the weekend. It was highly competitive, super fun. 6 rounds.
Huge.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Not much sleep this weekend. We are recording Monday, the day after the tournament. Just kind of giving a recap. What we're going to get into is Ben's list. He was playing Necrons. And then we'll get a little bit of my list. I was playing my classic Death Guard as usual. And if you guys do like our content, please subscribe, share the videos, comment. If you want to talk about other things, certain faction focuses in the future, or just some fun stuff. Like we were thinking about doing some hobby stuff. Just let us know what you guys want to see, and we'll try to make it happen. But liking and comment, subscribing actually does, it does help us grow the channel, and it's greatly appreciated.
Well, it helps. First of all, happy to be back. Good to see you guys all over again. It's been too long, but as Cass said, we've just been very, very busy. Everybody knows how it gets. Tournament season is in full force. Like you said, we had a big one just this weekend. I'm actually going to another teams event this coming weekend. Up in Edmonton, the Trident Tournament Open, something like that.
So Trident Teams or whatever
something
it's called.
Like that. But we're happy to be back, and like Cass was saying, obviously liking, commenting, subscribing, smashing that notification bell always helps. But it also gives us good feedback on like what you guys like, what works for you, what factions I want to see more of. Some videos do pretty good. Some go crazy. Like people love Dave Corrin, so I think we're trying to get Dave back on here again because he's a great guy, good player, and you guys really enjoyed him. So
yeah, and he also has a tournament coming up too next month.
We're going to be playing against him up in Edmonton this coming weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's got a team going up. That's a pretty stacked team
with his Grey Knights.
His Grey Knights, and he did pretty well this weekend as well. So yeah, I think I think we'll probably just do a good tournament wrap up, an analysis of the current meta, at least locally. It was cool to see with all the new books coming out where people's heads are at, right? So I don't have the exact numbers. I think you have the roster pulled up for this was the Alberta Classic. So this was the Alberta Classic, which locally is like a whole it's a number of events. It's not just a 40k tournament. They also did Age of Sigmar. I think they did Marvel, Crisis Protocol, all these other games as well. I think they did as well. So. But the big one, of course.
Oh, for each classic, each classic has a different Age of Sigmar, MC,
That's right. Ogre's Den hosts a whole bevy of games, right?
This is their big one of the year.
This is the big one. Like you said, it was it was supposed to be a 64-man tournament. We had some drops throughout and before. I think you said it came down to what, 50?
58 it came down to.
Okay,
I know that there was a few drops, but also a few on the waiting list as well that were able to sneak in, which is awesome.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's still very highly competitive.
Oh my
gosh.
And super fun. I think we universally people were saying that was one of the most fun tournaments we played in a long time.
That was my favorite.
Yeah. Everybody was there to play. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, we've been in 5 tournaments this year? 4 or 5 at least.
Something like that,
since the beginning of the year. And this one by far was the funnest. Even I had a lot of fun in the one that that me and Adam run, for sure. That was great, but I wasn't playing.
Attack on Cats, right? Yes.
But
are you going to play in the next one, or are you going to officiate again? I assume.
Yeah, me and Adam are going to officiate. Last time there was a huge waiting list as well. So, but if say happenstance, we're down one entire team.
You're gonna have your army ready to go.
We're ready to go. we'll do it then. We'll jump in and we'll kind of fill that spot.
Sure.
But if the numbers are anything like last time, I think we had
we'll be fine. 4
or 5. Don't quote me on it, but I think we had 4 or 5 teams that wanted to go back in.
Pairs of 2 waiting to go.
Yeah. So
that's sick.
It's why it's first come first serve, and we got another one in Calgary area or Edmonton area or wherever you guys are hearing us from. England, if you guys want to fly out here, sure.
Come on down for Attack on Cats.
It's a fun tournament. It's more of a casual event.
Yeah.
It's June 23rd. It's just it's duos, right? So each person has 1,000 points. You kind of team up with it could be a wacky match, right? Like if you got. What did you do? You did Knights and...
Yeah, me and Jake did Knights and
Custodies.
Yep.
Yeah, so you had tough front end and a
cool.
shooty top back end. That
was the idea. We got kind of rocked, but that was the idea. It was a cool idea. And I think the coolest thing about the Attack on Cats, and I think you guys said you're doing it again, is the scoring is a little bit different for secondaries.
Yeah.
So the way you guys did it was, it's 1,000 points for each person on the team.
Yeah.
Give or take, I think 50 points. I think you had some wiggle room either way.
Yeah, we gave a 50-point differential.
Right. So you can scoot one way or the other.
Yeah.
Which is also cool. But also the secondary scoring. So if each player draws secondary cards separately, and your 1,000 points of army can only score your secondary card, and your friends can only score his 1,000 points.
Yeah.
But you could also take fixed into the equation, right? One person could do fixed, the other guy could do tactical. So if you do have, our strategy, at least going into it, was Jake's got custodies, he's going to plant wardens on objectives, and just cleanse the objectives. That's his tactical or his fixed secondary the whole game.
Why cleanse? Why not? Why, that's an interesting decision.
I'm not saying it was a good strategy.
I know. Hey, it's fine. I just want to know your thought process. Like, why not deploy? If you're going to be doing that, because deploy only requires one unit activation, where cleanse, I mean, you can do cleanse with one. It just it does require at least 2 activations.
Well, the logic was that you plant 2 warden squads on 2 objectives and cleanse them both every round, and then you have Canis Rex and Helverins and whoever else for fire support and harassment and damage.
But and I'm not shitting on your list. You're going after
shit on it. We got shit on. So.
Okay, like if you're doing, how much is a squad of wardens in points?
Oh, I don't even know.
Is it at least 200 or whatever at the time?
200, I think. Yeah, over 200 has to be.
So basically, you're saying 400 points is this cleansing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right. Yeah. Okay.
And then well, not only fair enough. Maybe it was short-sighted. Maybe we didn't think it all out. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Gets even worse when you run into Eldar with Night Spinners and those wardens who can't fucking move anymore. Oh, it was rough.
Yeah. Hey, it's a wild time.
It was a good preview for Attack on Cax.
Yeah, and each ticket, so it's $25 a person, $50 a team, obviously. All the tickets are all the money for the tickets is going into prizing and to terrain and tables. You also get to $5 food voucher here at CAX, and it's happy hour all day, so it's super cheap drinks.
Killing it. Yep. Drink some beers, doing some Warhammer.
I remember one team was like, every time Angron dies, I have to take a shot.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And then he's obviously just charging Angron in.
Of course. Yes.
And not because he wants to drink, he's just charging Angron because that's what you do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And Angron is going to die at least once a game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I killed Angron this weekend.
Right? There you go.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Attack on Cax number 2. It's going to be a good time.
I think so. Yeah, it's
but to pull it back to the tournament we just played, so big tournament for our area, very, very big. 50 plus is pretty rare to see around here at these parts. I know there's parts of the world where that's kind of small potatoes, but this for us it was a big tournament. 6-game tournament, which I personally had never done before. Had you?
No, not 6 rounds.
Right. It's after, and I just knowing because we've done a few 5-round tournaments. You're tired after game 5. But this weird thing kind of happened in game 6 where you get almost like your second wind and you're like, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready to rock this thing
Let's do it.
And everybody's saying, we were having beers afterwards, and like everybody's saying, like, I could do another game right now. If this was a 7-game tournament, I'd be ready to go. Like, we're good to go.
I could do another one.
You can't just turn a corner where you're tired, your feet hurt, your back hurts, whatever. You've got weird bruises in your knees for some reason.
No, the knee pit.
The knee pit.
Yeah.
The leg pit, the knee pit. Hey, commenters out there, behind your knee. So we have an armpit, obviously called an armpit, elbow pit, I guess. But what about on your leg? Is that a leg pit or a knee pit? Get in the comments.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
I say leg pit.
Leg pit. I think knee pit sounds better.
It just doesn't make sense.
Anyway, we are all ready to go and do more. So it was a cool thing. Very fun tournament. Like I kind of mentioned before, it was a cool little snapshot of an interesting meta because we basically just had 3 books come out, right? Orcs, Custodes, Tau. Right. Tau's officially been out, so it was in this tournament. We did not see any Custodes. Literally 0.
There was 0 Custodes in the, and I think that's probably a fair guess. Yeah. I understand that maybe that's someone's only army and they would go in it anyways and try to find, because I also have immense respect for someone who's like, okay, we all know this codex is less good than before.
Yes. That's a very nice way of putting it.
And if you can find a way to, it's a puzzle. If you can find a way to start winning with it, that'd be really cool. So go into a tournament with it. Hey, if you know you're going to get your teeth kicked in, well, try to find a different way. Weird, and all of a sudden you start winning, right? Because people they're not expecting it.
That's right.
They're not that stack check army anymore. And when I'm building a list now for a tournament, I'm not even considering custodians. I just don't.
Of course not.
Right?
No one is, obviously.
And another reason for this, with custodians being out at 0, guess what army gets to run rampant?
Orkies.
And Thousand Sons.
And not Thousand Sons, World Leaders.
And well, yeah. So this custodians
so,
checks them down. World Leaders, Thousand Sons, were running rampant.
Thousand Sons, hey?
Oh, for sure.
I know they had a good matchup.
All psychic attacks to get field net pains.
Right.
Yeah,
gotcha.
They check them hard.
Got it.
All right, so now custodians can't check Thousand Sons.
Right.
And so they're running around. Custodians can't check World Leaders. They're running around.
And World Leaders are certainly running around
now.
For
and
sure.
So it's quite an interesting meta. And now think of this rubric here. Grey Knights are also at the top. Now beating David is I know you're listening, David, too. Like, we know you're great. But like he's one of the top players in the world for Grey Knights.
Sure, yes.
On ITC points, he's one of the top.
Yep, absolutely.
So, winning against him is going to be a little bit more difficult, but his only loss, guess what it is?
World Leaders.
Thousand Sons.
Oh, Thousand Sons.
Yeah. Now,
that's right,
the mission also worked against him, too. It's Scramble Fields, Thousand Sons.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and they could just like, they get like a...
Yeah, the Ritual Scrambler Fields, was that combo,
and I think they get like a 4-up against all psychic attacks, which is everything that Grey Knights do. All Nemesis weapons are psychic attacks.
Yes, of course.
Right? So now you have Thousand Sons running around, blocking Grey Knights. So then Grey Knights at the top of the meta, they're getting pushed down now. Right?
Right. Well, yes. Certainly, it keeps them in check for sure. Now we saw a lot of Grey Knights. I think
But how many in the top tables? There's one.
Only one in the top tables.
Right,
but
it's David, who is on a whole nother level,
arguably the best. Yeah, certainly locally. Yeah, I guess that's a fair assessment. I was kind of looking at it more of like what are people bringing, because that is your top 10 is obviously going to be your best players with some of the best armies. Obviously, we have some outliers, I guess, in Tyranids. We had a lot of, but like. I also like looking at different like metas in different areas because it does shift quite a bit. So
sure does.
Just to give people a snapshot of what we were looking at, it was like 7 Necrons, I think, which is to be expected, I think.
I think so.
Necrons didn't play super well. They did okay. The highest one was like 10th or something.
8th, I think, with Jacob. Annihilation Legion?
No, I wish. And I don't know. Awakened Dynasty.
Oh, Awakened. Yeah, sorry.
Man, Dude, I'm going to take Annihilation Legion one day to a tournament. I'm going to feel so good. I'm going to play nothing
just score packs.
Here. Okay, we're going to get a quick tangent. You know how, I think everybody's seen it by now, the new sneak previews of the new tournament pack, or the new mission pack. It's the Pariah Nexus, right? Mission pack. And they seem to be wanting to go in a promoting battle line area, right? They've previewed, was it a mission or a special rule is what it was, where if you have battle line units on objectives, you get +1 VP or something like that. It seems like they want to push battle line. Here's my prediction. / wish is that Annihilation Legion in Necrons obviously needs a little bit of a touch, needs a buff.
I like boof.
Needs a little boof, needs a little tooch. If they made flayed ones battle line and gave them a little more tweak to the rules in there, I think we'd. Do you think
because this will come out in 3 months, right? So this is the rule change one, not the point change one.
This will be rule change.
Yeah, the rule change coming up, right? Yeah, because you're going to get... It works out. Rule change every 6 months. Point change every 6.
It's 3 and 3 alternating, right?
Yeah. So this one's a real one coming up.
Blade ones get battle line, adjust how the Annihilation Legion works a little bit, and I think we got some spicy stuff there. I think that'd be cool as hell. Because I would love to run 60 flayed ones. And I know that was a thing in 9th edition. I'm told that was like very much a thing.
That was a list. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a little niche only because people don't own
60 flayed
ones, but it is good. Like it's I forget what they did, but they were really good.
But flayed ones are also not that hard to hit bash from other stuff either, right? Because like there's I bought a bunch of used Night Haunt models that are weird like little ghosty dudes, and you just slap a Necron head on them and be like, yep, those are.
Yeah, I don't even think those new models came out for the flayed ones though. Those crazy ones, I think they just came out at the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're a newer model. Yeah, because they had like the crazy the sights on them. Like I still have pewtered ones, like little cool. Metal ones.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, I only have 5 of them, but like
anyway, Necron aside, that's my prediction. My weird prediction, but.
I think we can probably get more into that too. That where the meta is going to go, especially if they're focused on battle line. If you think about it. It's such a tank heavy meta.
Very much so.
Right? You're going to be running X amount of vehicles or whatever it is. just for some extra tough bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you need to focus on your battle line,
Right.
does the thing flip?
So yeah, if we want to get into that a little bit, I think that's a cool topic. I was talking about this with Julian at the tournament, thinking, okay, what factions are taking battle line all the time, and what factions maybe take almost none. So, for example, my Necron list that I'm running right now has literally one unit of Immortals. That's my only battle line. And for Necron players, especially playing Canoptek Court, that's very normal. Like, some of them don't even include the Immortal Blobs at all anymore. Depending on what detachment you're in. Let's say Death Guard, for example. Plague Marines are the standard, obviously. Everybody's taking Plague Marines. So you're good there. One that I think is kind of maybe a sleeper buff is Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights. Armigers are battle line. War Dogs are battle line. You have a whole army of battle line if you're playing Chaos Knights right now.
That's very interesting.
Right? Not that Chaos Knights necessarily need like a
and they could get Nurglings in too, which are battle line.
Also battle line. Good point. Didn't think of that.
Shit.
So if we're pushing battle line, Space Marines are fine. So battle line in Tyranids is Gaunts and Gargoyles are battle line or no? I actually don't know.
Gaunts. I don't know if Gargoyles are.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Probably look it up, but
it'll be cool. I think everybody's excited for a mix up of the missions, just to get new missions, something new to play with. Not that these missions are bad. I think the mission pack as a whole is a very well designed.
Do you think so?
I think so. Again, having no information on what 9th or 8th or anything else looked like, I think it gives a lot of diversity in play. Even though we have and mostly we do stick to, because we try to play relatively competitively, we're sticking to like the tournament authorized mission combinations, obviously. But even those are, how many of those? Those are A through M or L? M N L O? O is the thing?
Gargoyles are battle line.
You got it here? Yeah, Gargoyles battle line. Gargoyles, Gaunts, and Gaunts. Gaunts and Gants, I guess.
Gaunts and Gants, yeah. Hermagants and Termagants.
Gants.
Termagants.
So
what was your question there?
I was just saying that I think the design of the pack is good. I'm excited to see a new one. If they're telegraphing that they're pushing battle line. Tyranids are happy. Endless Swarm's gonna be over the moon stoked.
Sure it is.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Death Guard's fine. It's just Plague Marines.
Plague Marines, Cultists. No, Plague Marines and Nurglings.
Nurglings, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how hard they push it, because right now of what they've previewed, you could, cause it's like an extra, if I remember reading the card correctly, 4 to maybe 5 points for the whole game if you get all the points.
That's good.
It is good. It's you could ignore it probably if your faction is just like, my battle line sucks balls, I don't want to take them. You could probably ignore it. It's fine. But if they're telegraphing it, it means there's probably going to be more stuff. There's probably going to be another benefit for battling. Oh, it's noted there. They did preview one more, where that you can bring a battle line unit on the board from strategic reserves on turn 1.
That's a stratagem, or is that?
That's I can't remember if it's not a stratagem. It's a mission special rule. It's something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, cool.
Well, we'll see, right? Because we don't know if that'll be those even make it to like an official tournament play or not.
Then it's Plague Marine spam at that point. Like, seriously, if I can get a Plague Marine squad deep striking on turn 1, that's crazy.
I don't remember exactly how the card works. I don't think you can deep strike it, but it can arrive on special reserves. Somewhere in no man's land. I don't know the details.
Yeah, it can't be in the deployment zone. It can't be.
But still, great, awesome, super good.
You could rapid ingress that though.
I don't even know. We'll see how it all breaks.
Because
down,
if you start them off in reserve,
a friggin' Armiger Warglaive into no man's land all of a sudden and get it within 12-inch Melt-to-4 range. Kind of juicy too. That's kind of juicy too.
Yeah. Or rapid ingressing that, right?
Or rapid. You can always rapid ingress something now, I guess. But
anyway. On turn 1, so if they move out and they get exposed, rapid ingress, boom, doom, shoot.
Yeah, I can't remember how that works.
Doing a carnivore on somebody. Oh my god.
Carnivores are always crazy, right? So anyway, that's cool. I'm excited for that. I think it's a good mix up.
Yeah, but, when is this coming out?
I don't think they actually set a date. I want to say the article said like a few months or something like that. So I think we're let's say at least 2 months away, probably closer to 3 or whatever.
Well, and our next new codex is Sisters, which I'm fucking stoked. I'm not buying any more Sisters. I'm not painting any more Sisters.
You say that now.
Yeah, I know. No, until it all comes out. Because I don't know. Gotcha. I don't want to waste. Yes.
You're in the holding pattern right now.
Yeah, I'm just like, when am I going to get? And I hope to God. Please, James, please. Don't nerf Arcos. Don't do it. I have 30 of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're.
I
mean, I don't. What would they even do to them? Like, they would. What could they do to them? They're pretty much as
I think
fragile
they're
as they
fine.
can be. They probably hit as hard as they like. What do? You take away?
If you're not paying to 5-up,
Is it a 4-up right now? That would probably be it. I thought it was a 5-up, but yeah, fair enough.
it's not.
It's probably.
Yeah.
I think that would
If
be
they do, then
that would be the
if you do it, then you have to lower the points. You can't.
Right.
You can't. Anyways, it's if it was 5-up, whatever. I would still probably run
the
them.
previews actually myself. It was what they preview, like the
Canonist and the jump pack.
Which isn't a data sheet that exists at all right now.
No, that's a new model.
Cool.
Yeah,
new
it's pretty
model,
cool.
New data sheet, new everything.
Canonist right now. Sorry, excuse me. The walking Canonist, when she's attached to a unit, she gives full hit rerolls.
Right. But this one theoretically could join Zephyrim or whatever. Or would there be a whole jump pack squad, like separate jump pack squad potentially?
I don't think so. Maybe because she has an eviscerator.
Right.
So in the model, there's a power weapon and an eviscerator. Eviscerator is like the Repentia, like chainsword almost.
Right. Yeah.
They're strength 2, AP minus 2 damage weapons. They're strength 6. Sorry,
I was gonna say
strength 6.
What?
Strength 6. Yeah, 2 attacks.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything else is 2.
Yeah. But they do a shit ton of damage, right? So with an eviscerator, that's a pretty crazy one on a Canonist, and you get full hit rerolls.
Right.
Which is what Repentia do, anyways.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, but she would be way faster than Repentia, so she's probably in with Zephyrim or.
I would say
whatever.
Zephyrim. Yeah.
Right, those are the melee ones. Zephyrim.
Yeah, Zephyrim are melee. Seraphim are the shoot scoots. They're like gargoyles. Yeah. But I'm going to be running. I got to submit my list here for the tournament next month. But it's a narrative campaign, so it's more about fun. And I'm really, really excited to play. So I'm just going to try some cool stuff.
This is the Play On event.
Yeah.
In Edmonton.
Yeah, I'll be there
exciting.
next month. Pretty excited. I had a blast last time, and you meet a lot of great people, and you really get to it's not about winning the tournament at all, and it shouldn't be.
Fully narrative. Yeah.
It's fully narrative, and it's about having fun and telling. What their slogan is. It's like dice tell stories.
Dice tell stories. Yeah.
And there's some crazy shit that happened. Like I remember when I played. Last year, I had my secret mission was to kill my own guy. So I I selected my playcaster, and all of a sudden I'm charging some guy, a Jakari plays Archon. I was like, "This is weird. You're gonna get minced." I'm like, "Oh, damn, that was a mistake."
Oh, oops.
Yeah, and then he kills him, and then I call over one of the organizers, and I was like, "Hey, I did this.
Right.
What happens?"
Okay.
He's like, "Oh, you actually planted a bomb inside your armor and then wanted to kill yourself. So everything around you takes D6 mortal wounds." I was like, "Whoa!" And I killed his Archon. Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Ha ha!" And then I even won more. It was just like it was a really cool story. And right. They have a Warhound Titan, and it shoots in a line of 12 inches. So he'll grab a tape measure and go as long as he can across all the tables. Feet. Yeah, but 12 inches width.
Oh, it's
like a laser. A laser is like 12 inches out here. And he'll just run a tape measure down 12 feet.
Yeah.
And then everything within 12 inches of the tape measure across the table gets hit. It's just completely fun. So and the people there were so great, and I just had such a great time. That's where I guess I met Mark at the Escalation League, but me and Mark had to hang out for a bit.
Well, and you had what's his name from Play On your podcast previously at CAX.
Yeah, the one here at CAX. Yeah, they had. Actually, the whole Play On team was here.
Yeah, that's right.
And everyone from the narrative too. So they all had fun. That was a Friday night before the narrative actually started.
Gotcha. Okay.
So fun, and a lot of us were just drinking and having fun, and I think we all stayed pretty late. And
always.
And we're like, "Oh, it's midnight." Happy 10th edition, because that's when 10th edition started.
Right.
Yeah,
you were saying that's right.
It's pretty fun.
Now it's the same. It's GamesCon, right?
It's at GamesCon.
It is at GamesCon in Edmonton this time. Yeah, I think a bunch of the boys are going up.
Yeah.
I'm holding the fort down here.
Boom. It's a super fun event. I think they still have some tickets. If you guys ever want any in Calgary here and you guys were thinking about going, just stop by CAX. I think we have something to kind of give away. It's a lot of fun. It's not just for Warhammer. It's Lorcana, Magic.
It is a whole thing, yeah.
I think there's Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
It's everything.
A big partners of ours, Tabletop YYC. They host a board game league here every week.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
They're there. Nice. They're just showing off all their board games. What else they got here? They got a bunch of stuff. I'm not a promotion ad here, so this is our Warhammer podcast. But hey, if you are considering, just stop by CAX and or just DM us or whatever, and we can always figure a way to get you guys down there and have some fun. I think the narrative event's all full though.
that is probably
It sold out so fast.
Yeah,
I think I got the last ticket. I was texting the guys. I was like, "Hey, is there any tickets left?" And then I think 2 people actually called me. It's like, "You didn't buy your ticket yet?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm going."
I don't know if this is under wraps or if this is a secret, but Mark's project is going to be debuted, I think, at that. Is that still top secret?
Yeah, it's a little secret.
We'll leave a secret for now.
Yeah. Just stay tuned, guys.
A gorgeous project that if anybody's been following his Instagram or anything like that, he's been teasing some of it, I think, on there. One of the most incredible armies I've ever seen.
Yeah, it wins.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, it wins. It wins
So
all
stay
awards.
tuned,
Yeah. It's gonna be pretty cool. So let's get into this weekend here. Let's get into your matches. We both went 6 rounds. We both did it.
Yeah, we made it all the way.
Yeah, you were running Necron's Canoptic.
I was. And yeah, if I can give you a quick rundown of my list.
Yeah, let's get into that. Yeah.
Super prepared, and I have it right here. No problem. I was doing Canoptic, so I had been playing Hypercrypt for pretty much all of 10th edition, and with the most recent point changes, Catan got hit hard, and I was running 3 Catan in my previous list, very appropriately. So I think we're at a good points level now. But I always kind of wanted to play Canoptic. I like how it's a little bit more defensive. It changes the pace of the game a lot.
You choose to engage, like you're choosing
with reactive moves on your best units and lone op on your best units. I've said it a million times. You choose where the battle happens. That has been a learning curve for me because Hypercrypt is very like reactionary, right? You're like, okay, this is where the army is going. We're over here now, right?
Yeah, it's Necron
This is where you're weak.
Yeah.
We'll pop you over here. Where Canoptic is like, nope, here is where I'm gonna be. This might be like a facade over here that I'm playing with, and then I'll move that away, and then only you're fighting with this. But I have to like go into it knowing what's gonna happen next, right? So I did choose to go Canoptic Court. Good value. Race didn't go up in points. The Technomancers did. That was probably an oversight not an oversight. That was probably, I don't think that was a good change, let's say, because I think Wraith probably, I would have liked if Wraith gone up and Technomancers didn't, because it would incentivize play of Technomancers in other units. Like you technically can take Technomancers in Warriors and Immortals, I think, which they would be kind of maybe helpful, like a bunch of 20-man Warrior blob with 5-up Feel No Pain and Oricon to give them like a 4-up Invulnerable is kind of cool.
Yeah, and that was another weird and confusing thing too. And Race were the problem, not Technomancers. So why increase the points of Technomancers when they're not the problem? Increase the points of Race and just keep the Technomancers the same, right? And then that way your list, like you said, it can be a little bit more malleable.
Yeah. I think I don't want to pretend I know why they did it. It does seem like, I don't think it's an oversight at that point. I think it's an obvious choice. The other strange omission from points changes was the Doomstalkers, which are 135 points, which is crazy when you think of the benefit they get in Canoptic Court, which is D6 plus 1 shots, full rerolls most of the times with those shots. So you're hitting on either 3s or 4s with full rerolls, overwatching on 5s with full rerolls, strength 14, AP 3 damage. Played into a Dark Angels list on my last game that was doing a whole super cool looking Bice list. Obliterated them. Right? They're 4-up invuln, but flat 3 wounds. I'm winning them on 2s. Right? They're just going down like a sack of hammers. So, long story short, Canoptic didn't get hit hard enough, so I decided to pivot for competitive play into a Canoptic Court list. And I'll take you guys through that real quick. So, only one Catan, so I do the Nightbringer.
He's kind of your anti-everything.
He's your anti-everything. He's slow as balls.
So they all.
They all are. Well, except for the Transcendent.
Yeah.
But yes. If I were to cut anything or change anything, it might be him, to tell you the truth. Because most of the time, I wasn't getting value from him, either by a slight misplay, but what I was doing with him most of the time was using him as like a distraction Carnifex.
Sure. Right? Hey, I actually have a question on that, but do you want to just finish the list entirely, and then I can ask you those questions bit by bit here? That way you can get for the viewers here, I just want to give them the 100%. Whole list.
Yeah. So Nightbringer, we do a Chronomancer. That's going to be in with a unit of Immortals with a Teslas for the shoot
scoot,
advance,
-1.
Shoot, scoot, all that good stuff.
-1
to hit.
Yeah.
1 Hexmark Destroyer just for objective doing stuff. I do take Imhotep the Stormlord because the thing that makes Canoptic Court pop off is the strats, so he is your CP farm. I just ran him solo. I was worried about it a little bit, but him just sitting on the back objective, perfectly fine. 2 Technomancers, obviously in 2 groups of wraiths. One of them has the Infiltrate enhancement. We got our Immortals. 3 Doomstalkers, fantastic. 2 units of Scarabs.
4 screeners, and objective play,
2 units of wraiths, like I said, and then 2 units of 2 heavy destroyers with the big flat 6 cause damage weapons.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty standard,
Solid
pretty meta.
list,
Yeah,
solid list.
Kind of shoring up all its holes, and
Like, obviously, you've got your anvils in your wraith blobs. You've got your heavy hitters with Nightbringer, Doomstalkers,
and the heavy
destroyers for like dedicated anti-tank. If it struggles anywhere, it's probably secondary plague. So it doesn't have a lot of units that can go out and do stuff. The Scarabs fill that hole a little bit. But it's like I said before, it's the hardest part for me of playing Canoptek Court is finding that pace, right? It's like we were talking about this over beers yesterday. It's like if you're playing into an army that cannot kill wraiths, you just jam up the board and say, screw you, deal with them. But a lot of armies can, a lot of factions can, or they have the tools to allocate that direction. So you have to really, it all comes down to game knowledge at that point, right? Okay, this guy's playing Dark Angel Bikes, not a threat, slam up the board. Okay, this guy's playing 2 big blocks of Plague Marines, or they're playing Mortarion, or they're playing 8-bound, or whatever, right? Okay, all of a sudden the game is a completely different game. We're playing this KG back and forth, feinting this way, lone-opping this way, that kind of stuff. So it's, as much as Necrons I don't think is a hard army to play, playing Canoptek Court well does take some degree of skill. For sure.
Yeah, and knowing when to do it. It's like the lone op strat is more of a defensive strat against control and shooty armies.
Yes.
Right? Where your reaction moves more appropriate against aggressive and melee armies, right? So it's about like kind of categorizing your stratagems in certain areas, right? And then in those good all-rounder lists, then that's when you that's when it gets a little difficult and a little tricky, because you have to see where we are in the game and when can we do this.
And and more than any other list I've played, you can lose in deployment with this list very easily. Wraiths are fast, but nothing else really is. So those true Wraith units that got 10-inch movement, they can advance, they can do whatever, but nothing else is.
What about the heavy destroyers?
They move 8.
Fly.
They do fly.
No infantry keyword, though.
No infantry, so you got to move them around buildings and whatever. And also, they're not that tough. As soon as you show them, they're probably going down, so you really got to get value. And they're not bad. I think they're very good. But that is their weakness, is once you reveal them, they have 2 shots. If you whiff on one of them, you're doing 6 damage max.
Is that worth it, then, in the future?
Well, it's a good question. It's a very good question. I would venture to say yes. For two reasons. One, you never want to shoot them being your only thing. Usually when I'm shooting them at a vehicle in addition to a Doomstalker. They can kind of shore each other up a little bit. Additionally, if you need an objective doer, they can kind of fill that role as well, right? I usually kept at least one of them in strategic reserve.
Yeah, sure.
And brought it on the board for objective play or whatever. It is a little bit expensive because I have them in groups of 2, which just helps them with durability a little bit. But you could just run them singles.
That's what I'm thinking. So, and here's just my thought process. I'm not trying to take part of your list. I'm just wondering why. Because if you keep them with 2 as durability, isn't that the same as you keeping 1 as durability?
No, because if 1 dies in a group of 2, you can reanimate it back. If 1 dies in a group of 1, she gone.
Yeah, makes sense then.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Because if you can devote someone's attention to 1 over there and then 1 over there, right?
So and I have done that in other lists. I've broken it down to 1 unit of 2 and 2 units of 1, just for objective play. And if you want to bring, you keep those 2 1s in in strategic, and if you want to bring them both on at the same time and shoot the same target, cool. That'd be a perfectly reasonable change. I don't think that's
I'm just curious the way the thought process was. I mean, I have a Necron army. I don't really play it much at all, or ever, right? So I don't really.
You've moved on.
moved on. Well, smaller things.
Right. Hey, Sisters is still super good. You're very good with your Death Guard. Speaking of, I did play you this weekend.
You did. So round 3.
We had a rematch. So we actually
we matched.
We matched.
Yeah, it was good. So round 1 and 2, you were.
Let's go down the list here.
So you were 1-1 after round. So what was your first match? Let's break down every single one.
2 Grey Knights. As we mentioned at the top, there was a fair amount of Grey Knights in this 60-ish person tournament.
I think there was 7.
I don't know if it was 7, but it was definitely 5 at least.
Okay.
Played into Alex's Grey Knights. I think he was one of the guys that actually, there was a fair amount of guys that came out from Saskatchewan. I think he was part of that crew that came out and had a super close game. This was, that was the first mission, which was priority targets with an extra objective in the middle.
Hidden supplies, yeah.
That's the one. So super, super easy to get your 10 points every game.
Yeah.
Or every round, I should say. And then you just want to keep stuff alive to try and make a push at the end.
Exactly.
Right?
Your main goal is to have as much assets alive right near the end. Yeah. That's your main goal. And them have none, right? Exactly. So it's about killing.
Which we both did perfectly easily, right? He's a Grey Knights. He's got enough stuff to sit on the backfield and not worry about it. I've got my 2 Wraith Bobs. I can get my 10 points every round. So super good game. He did manage to pull it out. Probably if I were to look at the analysis, the final score was 82 for me, 90 for my opponent. Super close game, which it always is going to be. My loss was on, I guess I dropped 5 points on priority targets, and I didn't get as good secondary, which makes sense.
Yeah, there were 5 Grey Knights.
Yep, 5 Grey Knights. There you go.
Yeah, you got it.
So close game, 8-point game. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm not upset with that.
No,
it is
shouldn't
what
be.
It is. Like, shit happens. Not the end of the world. Super nice guy. And a good first game. You never like losing the first one, but shit happens, right?
Someone has to win, right? Someone has to win.
Someone does have to win.
Mm-hmm.
You just wish it was yourself most of the time.
I always do.
You always do.
Yeah. But you win more from your losses than you do from your wins.
Yes, you certainly learn more. Grey Knights is just a tough one. Like, I still haven't cracked the code to fighting Grey Knights because I don't like. Make sure you don't misplace yourself on objectives so they can't like steal a cheeky 3-incher from you. But other than that,
or you're misting. You gotta watch it for the miss.
Yeah,
I'm
the
starting to realize
counterplay.
that like you just gotta force their mist and then make them use that CP, right? Because if you don't allow them, then they're just sitting on more. And it's a super CP heavy
that's
army.
a very good point. Yeah, you don't want to like, depending on where you're at in the game, obviously, but there is something to be said for avoiding it at all costs versus, okay, are you gonna miss here? Okay, you're not gonna miss there. Okay, you're gonna miss here. Okay, you're gonna miss over here.
Yeah,
Like, if you want to hold
and you take away their CP from Overwatch. You take away their CP from the 3-inch deep strike.
Sure.
That Soul Strike devastating wound one. You take it, and that's a 2.
Right. Yes. Yeah,
and armor contempt.
Yeah.
So those are really those big ones that they use,
Make
right?
them spend.
True silver armors or armor contempt. But
that's a good point, actually. That's probably a point that I could actually incorporate into my Grey Knights play more often. Is make them do it.
Make them. Yeah, because it's a super CP heavy army. They do play tactical, so they do get the little extra CP that way, and they're really good at tactical. But if you can force it out, then they're sitting in a weird spot, and you also are allowing the opponent to make the mistake of if they do missed.
Yeah.
Is it at the correct spot to move it in? Right. And there's always a chance. Like, sure, the great players are not going to do it, but you may in a tournament setting, you might be going against a little less experienced player, and they might miss in the wrong area.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, or ideally, you give them 2 options that are both not good for them. They pick one of them, and then you're cool. I take.
And then you know where to go then at that point, right?
That's a very good. Actually, I like that a lot. I probably will have to incorporate that into my night, especially if I'm playing like this kind of list where Grey Knights not great into wraiths. What's that Purgation squad or the big flamer, whatever they're called squad.
Yeah, the Purifier squad.
The Purifiers. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're pretty good into them. Everything else is okay. So I could have probably, looking back on it, been more aggressive.
I also think. I guess like David runs like the top night ones. He runs like 10 Paladin squad. They're probably pretty good in those races.
They're pretty good. So it depends on the list, but
right.
So lost first game. Shit happens. Not the end of the world. Second game was into Brody's Astra Militarum. This was one that I was kind of a little bit worried about going into because it was tons of infantry. I think it was. Without having to look it up and get into the weeds too much, I think it was 3 units of 10 Catachan, at least 3 units of 10. Kriegsmen, then like a command squad for Lord Solar. Oh, you got it right there and easy. There you go.
Yeah.
Like so, what I say?
Holy.
Yeah, just infantry for days. Infantry squads. 1 Leman Russ.
So how do you deal with this? I guess you have your Doomstalkers with blast weapons. And
Doomstalkers do fine. The play that I made in this actually was because this was what mission was this?
Chimera tanks. Oh my gosh. So he has 5 Chimera tanks.
This was Vital Ground.
He's Steel Legion is what he is, right?
Steel. Yeah, it was actually listed as Steel Legion.
Yeah, cool.
So this was an interesting one because this was on Vital Ground, so no middle objective. You got 2 objectives, and I thought to myself, okay, he's got tons of infantry. It's gonna be hard to out-OC him, but if I have a chance at denying him primary, it's literally throwing both of my Wraith blobs on his objective, his no man's land objective, right?
His fortified, like where he's fortifying the most. Yeah,
right. Because okay, he's got a couple Lehman Russes, he's got some big firepower, but if I get my Wraiths wrapped up in combat with a couple of his infantry units, they're not going to do shit to him.
How do you deal with the other one then?
The other objective?
Yeah.
My Immortals actually did really good on that. So my Immortals that can shoot and scoop behind cover. So if he put like a Chimera on the objective, which he did, the Chimera can take care. Oh, sorry, the Doomstalker can take care of the Chimera, and then the dudes that pop out, the Immortals move out, wipe them, and then move back into.
Yeah. So you're never scoring that one, but neither is he.
Exactly.
That's the smart point. Okay, I like that play.
Yeah, I played. Every so often I get some
no, that's a really good play. That's pretty sweet. I really like that because I remember, and we can get into it later. But yeah, that one was really. The end of the score, I think it was like a 14-6 or whatever for Brandon, but it was really close, and we were kind of going back and forth on that too, and then we ended up fighting on the top one, which was technically mine.
Right.
Yeah,
you're fortified.
But he also didn't fortify his, so I sabotaged it. So it was like a weird little fight,
little base race kind of thing.
Yeah, and I might have. I'm looking back. We'll get into it later.
Get into it a sec. Yeah. So that was my strategy going. I even took pictures of it because it was wild. I had literally 2 Wraith blobs on his objective, just like body blocking his Chimeras off the point, and he had at one point I think at least 3 Chimeras full of dudes sitting on the point. But because I was blocking it, even if he had got the dudes out, there wasn't enough room for him to actually be on the objective. So I just literally was just like, this. You can't score this.
Right. Yeah. You're move blocking.
And I didn't kill the Chimeras either. There's dudes full of these Chimeras. I'm like,
aren't they flamer? They have flamers on there, right?
Flamers and stuff.
Are they not flaming your race?
I guess it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess
so that was a cool game.
Tough,
I did manage to win that game. It was a 78-30, so I did well in that game. I just denied him primary. I think he scored 2 points every turn, and that was it. So easy peasy.
Round 3, the exact opposite happened to you.
Super nice guy. Brody was a fantastic person to play with. He might have got I think he got my top for sportsmanship. Super nice guy.
Awesome. That's great.
Then I played into some fucking gross Death Guard player, Kaz.
Cat. I think it's Ass with a K.
Ass K, of course.
So we got the pleasure of playing each other in the third round again.
We played each other in the last tournament. Third game on Saturday.
Day 1. Yeah.
On day 1. And we got the rematch. I won last time. Of course, Cass took it back this time.
I was going to let you. Yeah.
1-1 officially for tournament play now.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I like it. It's good shit.
And it's now a little personal grudge between us.
Right?
We're gonna line up and see you in round 3, buddy.
The next tournament, they're not gonna match us up. We're gonna be like, what the fuck,
Tom,
man? Tom, what the hell, man?
You know this is how we do
have
this.
To fucking fight this out,
dude. So you had that was a really fun game. You had some really cool sneaky plays with and for those who don't know, so what mission was it again? It was Ritual.
That one was the Ritual. Yeah.
And Scramble Fields.
Yeah, that was
Ritual and Scramble Fields. So in Scramble Fields, you can't deep strike onto objectives.
Can't scout onto them. Can't. Nothing.
Super annoying. And then Ritual, you're making them. So you kind of make that first one right outside your deployment zone, and then you have to kind of pick a side and you start making them along the way.
Yep.
In this one, though, it does create a fight in the center because all the 3 that you make, so the one that your opponent makes and the one that you make, are relatively close together, that you can really get a lot of fighting going on and a lot of battling in the center. So in my particular list, which again we'll get into soon, I think it really was favored on my side, to be honest with you.
I think so.
Yeah. And
the way you deployed Rodigus, like ready to go turn 1, big deal. Big deal. And
he needed to be in that mission. He just needs to be like right there.
100%.
Yeah. And so what was interesting though in that one, and here's a lesson for anyone who's trying to learn something or trying to learn some cool niche plays, and I didn't even know this one too. He was you can cleanse.
I taught you this.
You can cleanse without being on the objective because so say you get a unit, do the action to make the ritual to make the objective. Right. The objective doesn't come to the end of the turn. But you can bring another unit in and then do the action of cleansing, and then you choose a sequence at the end. So then you don't have to go into objective cleanse. You can cleanse in any spot on the board if you wanted to.
In a corner.
Yeah, you can hang out and cleanse, but if you're not on an objective, it doesn't get you points.
Shit. Right.
So you just cleanse.
And because that is how it works. You can do the cleanse action with anything at any time. You obviously can't shoot, can't charge out of it, so you don't want to just waste that. You don't want to do cleansing for no reason. But It doesn't require you to be on objective, like you said. So in the ritual, both of those things happen. The ritual and the cleanse occur at the end of the turn, and because you're the active player, you choose which happens first. So my objective appears. This unit cleanses it.
Yeah, so super pretty. It was pretty cool because I think you got. Did you get extend and cleanse? Is that what you got?
Something like that. What did I get first round? No, it was just cleanse. It was just cleanse and no priz first turn. But
oh right, yeah. Anyways, but you were able to cleanse for max.
Yeah,
which is good. And I like that because
for max. Yes, I did throw.
So you're not like drawing a cleanse first round. Is like okay, so it doesn't limit your first round tactical draws to just auto CP. Right, because
yes, exactly.
you draw a captured enemy outpost round 1
for sure.
Most of the time it's auto CP.
And there's other tacticals that it also opens up when you realize that that's a factor because extend battle lines. Right? Oh, I don't want to go to the middle objective. That's fine. Go make your objective and you're good to go on extend.
Yeah, that's true.
Or secure no man's land. Oh, there's no two. There's if you go first turn, there isn't 2 out there. There will be at the end of your turn if you make one.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah,
it opens up a lot of play.
Yeah, and it allows tactical to be a little bit more safer.
For sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because it really sucks when you get captured behind and you're like, ah.
Right, of course.
And it happens.
There's nothing you can do, right? You're not. We're not all Tyranids, and we can't all just pop a little spore mine in this little pocket.
Or Magnus, who can just freaking run across the board
12 inches 3 times.
Yeah, we can't all do it. Yeah, or I guess Blood Angels can do it too. with Liberian teleport.
There's plays you can do, but yeah.
And Dark Angels. Anyways,
there's a lot of the deck that's still alive. We're in. I think some people's, and this is just me having played the ritual a lot. Those little niche things that you pick up over time that you realize, okay, there's more play on this mission than I thought there was, right?
Yeah, I really like the ritual. Yeah. I like that. I like that
ritual a lot.
Sense of Power, probably my favorite though.
We've buried the lead for a while. Cass did win this rematch, but it was a very smart play. So his tech, not into me specifically, but the tech with Rodigus, absolutely fucked my day up. So I have on the terrain layout, I can't remember which one it was specifically, but I'm going to make my little nest of rituals with my 2 Wraith Blobs. They're going to cleanse them. They're going to do whatever. They're going to hold down my fort, right? I'm just going to get my, 10 points every round, no problem. Cass deployed Rodigus aggressively, and I did get first turn, so I moved up into my little nest, started making and cleansing, and then you just beelined Rodigus into my face. I think I even reactive moved away from him a little bit, but you're like, cool, I have like a 6-inch charge now. Great, cool.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And the greatest thing is with Rodigus, because he has a 6-inch aura of half movement, half OC. Oh, right?
Jesus,
so I can just take him off. He can go to points. He can take people off.
Yep.
And the half movement. Now, how the half movement works, Wraiths have a 10-inch move.
Right. Yeah.
Now, half is 5.
Right.
The reactionary move is up. You can make a normal move up to 6.
Right.
But making a normal move looks at your movement characteristic.
Right. So if it's 5, it's 5.
So it goes up to 5. So I actually get an extra inch. Sure. So if you did a reactionary move of 6, it could be harder for me. I'm out on a 7-inch charge, technically, right? Or like I'm outside an inch and now I'm at 7 inches. But now I'm at a 6, which makes it drastically easier.
Crazy good. And halving all of my OC is nuts. And you're also plopping a big 5 OC dude that can sit on 2 objectives. And my Wraiths are going to be, even if I have the whole unit alive, which I don't for most of the time, really, because you're in my shit fucking me up. My Wraith unit is at max 7 OC. Right?
Yeah.
If you kill 2, you're tying it now. And I've got 2 that are trying to hold 2 objectives. It was just the perfect piece to fuck up my primary game. And it worked very well. I scored 10 points on the primary the whole game.
Yeah.
I got 5 points in the first turn.
Did I max that primary?
You did max primary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
Solidly. Because the problem
But I was there.
I never had anything that could go harass your primary. It just never happened. I did misplay the Nightbringer a little bit, and you had good line of sight, and you blast him up a little bit. I healed him back up and put him in.
That's true, actually. Yeah, you went right back to full health, actually. Because you did Technomancer.
Technomancer healed him up, but I put him back in to go fight, and then I misplayed my Immortals a little bit, where I had very good moto play in my guard game, misplayed him a little bit against you. It's one of those pieces that's like, they're super, super brittle, so like if you move and scoot them in the wrong spot or too close, because you ended up charging the Nightbringer, then consolidating into the Immortals. I fell back with them, but you had enough guys to just kind of wipe them eventually. So, very good game. You did manage to take it down. It was a final score of 98 for you, 50 to me. So a solid win.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was awesome. It's still, it was still a very highly competitive game, regardless of what the score was. It was still highly competitive.
For sure, it's one of those like. And this is I think what speaks to the level of play at that tournament. All of these games felt like there was something to play for, right? Nobody's done at turn 2 except for maybe my last game, but we'll get into that in a second. but super games, good games all weekend.
So start day 2.
Started day 2. We got 3 more games to go. I play into Leo's Tau, where he's playing Monka. Nope, sorry, he was playing Retaliation Cadre. Leo, super nice guy. A couple of guys from Edmonton came. A whole bunch of guys came from Edmonton as well, actually. And he was one of those guys. Retaliation, I was a little bit scared of. I was probably more scared of Monka, but Retaliation was interesting. But the thing that I realized pretty quickly in that game is, okay, they get a whole bunch of AP when they're close to you. Race don't care. If you have 1 AP or you have 3 AP, it's the same thing. And, okay, you've got a bunch of flamers who are strength 6. Okay, that's cool. You are wounding on 4s, but you're still just doing 1 damage. So you're going to get through, whatever, you get through 20 saves on me. Okay, half of those are gone for 4-up invuln. And then another third of those are gone for 5-up feel no pain, right? So I'm going to take 5 wounds. You've killed a wraith and a bit. If you spike super hard, your whole unit has killed 2 wraiths.
And then reanimate, technomancer,
and then
heal.
Reanimate, heal him back up. Oh. He just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, that's too good.
It was a rough game. Didn't have the firepower to really make it much of a contest. Again, great guy. No slight to him, but that was a pretty easy game for me. I won 98-48. So it does happen, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Not the end of the world. Also, how many losses? I'm 2 losses in at this point, so I'm in the lower mid of the pack anyway.
Sure.
So it makes sense, right? 5th matchup was into Brent's Chaos Knights. And he was running, I don't know if you want to pull up the list because I fucked up the name of this knight. It's one of those giant Forge World knights that doesn't even have a base.
What's his name?
Brent something. Brent, that's the one. Pull up that list. It's scroll, that's not even a character. It's a weird, not character big knight. Chaos Acastus Knight Asterius. This is a weird data sheet. I'm going to pull it up for a sec here. I should have done this before, but I'm just going to pull it up real quick right now. Asterius. Okay, so this big Mamma Jamma is obviously towering, all that good stuff. He's also extremely expensive. I think he is 765 points.
Okay.
So half your army almost, right? He has this crazy ass gun called the Twin Conversion Beam Cannon. So he has 2 of those, right? 1 on each arm. Pew! Okay. 48 inch range, 3 shots each, so 6 shots total. Hitting on 3s. But it is conversion. So conversion is that weird like code name or not keyword that is only on Imperial or only on Forge World stuff, I think. Which is if you're outside, if the target is more than 24 inches away from you, you score a critical hit on a 4-up. Now critical hits on this weapon are sustained hits D3. On a strength 16 gun, AP 2, flat 6 damage, 7 damage into vehicles. So it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. So when this thing looks at a Doomstalker, it's fucking dead. Whatever Doomstalker doesn't loan up is dead.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he gets fucking 2 hits through or he gets fucking 7 hits through. It's dead. Right?
What the fuck?
Wild. And the terrain also helps because he does have towering. So the terrain we were in, he just toes in and goes and finds something. He doesn't want to be close to anything because Conversion Beamer is outside 24. He just sits back and just fucking blasts you. Wild. So I knew that. I understood that was the issue, right? So I only wanted to like reveal 1 Doomstalker at a time so I could lone op it, right? You only see 1 Doomstalker. You target the Doomstalker. It's lone op. You have to
smart.
You have to choose them.
Really smart. Yeah.
The problem, the good play. However, the problem was he just targeted the Wraiths instead and literally just wiped a whole unit of Wraiths with 1 activation.
What?
Because flat 6 damage, right?
Yeah.
So mathematically, 4 wound model with a 5-up feel no pain should die.
Did you not loan up them though?
But not if I loan up the Doomstalker.
So, but
I can't loan up.
Did he make you? Oh, so he made you choose and shoot the Wraith.
So on my safe objective, my fortify objective, I had a Doomstalker supporting them and a Wraith blob on it.
Yeah.
I can only loan up 1 of them. I chose the Doomstalker because I'm like, hey, he's gonna kill 3 Wraiths.
Whatever he kills.
Like maybe 4 Wraiths max. Just fucking zorped a whole unit on my safe objective while my other one is downfield trying to compete with the other war dogs.
Zorped.
Just absolutely zorped. And I was like, because I needed 1 of those feel no pains to spike for 1 second and make 3 out of the 6, right? Instead of 2 out of the 6. Just never happened, and they were just boop, beamered away. So it happens. It is what it is. Also, the fatigue was setting in a little bit in that game. I forgot that the Nightbringer has AP4 in combat, not AP2, and like his shooting does have AP2. So a war dog that I was fighting with the Nightbringer for 2 turns just never died. Bad rolling and forgetting your rules. It's not.
You got to remember your rules.
Bad combo.
Yeah.
It's a bad combo.
All right, your next match. So how did that match end?
That was a loss. That was a 35 for me, 77 for him. Bad loss. These things happen. Last match was into, I mentioned it before, Ryan with his Dark Angels, which is the what's the bike detachment called? The Storm Raven or no?
I'm not sure.
I don't know Space Rain bullshit.
What's his
so
name?
there's a name for it. His name is Ryan. I don't know his last name. Ravenwing. That's it. The Knob Cobblers. That's a good team name too. But if you go to his list, it's like 18 bikers.
Yeah.
Super cool. Like looks awesome on the table. They're super awesome. But the problem with a million bikers is that they
Redemptor Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, a couple Redemptors. There was a Lancer in there. Like there's some fire support and stuff. And you got a cool combo. I don't remember which vehicles do this, but one of the vehicles, if you hit a target, gives you +1 to hit, and one of the vehicles, if you hit it, gives you +1 to wound.
That's the speeders.
That's a speeder. Got it.
Yeah.
So anyway, super cool combo.
It's cool.
The problem is that all of his OC and like forward pressure comes from those bikes, who are T5 and 3 wounds each.
So you're hitting on
Doomstalkers are just obliterating and
hitting on 3s with rerolls and
so I'm getting like, let's say a worst case scenario, like 4 shots, hitting on 3s with rerolls, wounding on 2s. He's got
putting them on 6s.
Everybody who doesn't roll a 4-up is just gone.
Oh, it's a 4-up invul on bikers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good then.
So that is good, but we were talking about this after the game with him, and I was like, this looks and feels like Space Wolves with Thunderwolf Cavalry.
But with bikes instead.
But with bikes. But the problem is that, and I didn't know this, that those units are the same price, but Thunderwolf Cavalry have 1 more toughness and 1 more wound, which is a huge deal. That's a huge deal. That's a whole and
way more attacks. They got the wolf attacks.
Oh, I didn't even know how much more attacks. The wolves attack too. That's right. The crushing jaws and teeth or whatever it is.
Yeah, they those things are surprisingly annoying and surprisingly good.
I've played them a couple times now. They're
kind of a nightmare.
They're insane. So that game did not go good for him. It was pretty much over by turn 2. Super good player and like heads up player. I was playing on a clock all weekend, so that I would play faster. He was like, I won't need the clock. It's fine. He's the fastest player I've ever played with. He knew exactly where everything's going. Boom, 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 boom. He had like an iPad for our scoring off to the side there, and he's like punching in my score before I even know what it is. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna move this.
Put you on tilt that way.
Yeah. Well, he like, no discredit to him. He thinks faster than I think. I'm a big, dumb, slow idiot. So, so I did end the tournament 3-3. Not where I wanted to be. I would have loved to be 4-2. So it was for 34th in the tournament or something like that. It was not the greatest showing ever. But these things happen.
I think though too, you have to consider that Necrons have been such a menace in the meta for so long, and with the 3 new codexes coming out with the meta shift, Catan's being down a little bit. I still think they're a stat check army, and they do allow, I guess, for players to skew their list towards.
That's fair.
Right? So when I'm building my list, I don't just choose Rodigus for the sake of choosing Rodigus.
Right.
I chose him for X amount of reasons, and I can get into it when I top of my list here. And yeah, we got about we got some time. We can do it. We can.
Did I yap for too long?
No, we're good.
I do.
Hey, we're on a podcast. We both yap. that's the idea. So,
yeah. Why don't you want to run us through what you brought and how you did?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, thanks for Ogre's Den, and thanks to Thomas Kershank and Yates there for running this event.
And Adrian for hosting us there, of course.
Yeah, the Ogre's Den, and hosting it. It's such a cool room. I can't believe you can fit 64 players into a room and have all the terrain. And I love those tables. They're high enough that I'm not we're both above 6 feet tall. Yep. And leaning over tables, you can pull a muscle, which we'll get into later.
100%. It's a well-known thing in Calgary for sure. Ogre's Den is where you go to play certainly competitive games, but also
fun games too.
They worked hard, and all the credit in the world to them. They've worked super, super hard to up their terrain game, especially for this event, because they knew we're going to play every single table's packed.
I think I was there on last Wednesday, and it was just Yates just going to town on
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks great.
They look fantastic. Not only are they tournament viable, they've got footprints. They're the right sizes. They're mirrored on each side. You could not ask for better.
Yeah, and you know, it's such a cool concept of a story. If you want a pickup game, hey, just go to Ogre's Den. The table's already there. The train's underneath.
I'm playing a game there today. Yeah. After this.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful news. So that's 3 days of Warhammer.
That's it, man. It never stops.
Yeah, and then you got a tournament this weekend.
Hey, you gotta get those reps in.
Yeah, for sure. So I had a great tournament. I had a super fun time. I don't think I had an easy opponent by any means in any round, so it was very hard for me. I had a lot of thinking to do. I had such a fun time. This is by far right now my favorite tournament of the year. Yeah. I placed higher in other tournaments this year, and this one was my favorite.
Yeah, you ended up what? Was it 11th?
I got 11th this one.
Which is super fucking solid into a field of 60-ish people.
Like I was actually. There's another Death Guard player above me though, James. He's great.
Did he get best chaos or did somebody else?
No.
I don't know who got best chaos. Lane got best chaos?
Jake
got best chaos.
Yeah, with Chaos Demons.
Cool. Yeah.
Really cool looking army too.
Yeah, that was super cool.
So I ended up going 4-2. I'll run you through the list here real quick. So I have.
Are you just doing it off the noggin?
Yeah.
You don't have your list next to you or nothing? You're just ready to go?
Nah.
Wow. That's guys, this is the difference between a 4-2 player and a 3-3 player. This level of game knowledge.
Okay. Well, I opted, so I'll start off with my heroes there. So I got Mortarion. I always, I think I stopped running him for a few weeks there when I was trying to test for this tournament here, and I hated it. Okay. So I brought him back in.
Sure. Yep.
I run Mortarion. I do the Foul Blight Spawn and Biologus Putrefier. I usually put them in with a 10-man break of Plague Marines, which are kitted out to mostly heavy melee, 2 Meltas, 1 Flamer. The reason is Biologus gives you that free grenade strat, Lethals on 5s, and Foul Blight Spawn gives you fight first, and has a pretty awesome Flamer.
Yes, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good all-around unit. Yeah,
and then I also have a Rhino with them as well. Yeah. Then I do Typhus. So I only have 4 characters.
Right.
For in the character slot.
Yep.
Then I go for the 10-man Plague Marine squad, and then we're going to go to the other data sheets, which is I do a 10-man of cultists. They're really good for just objective play, scout move. If you're on a search and destroy deployment zone, I can actually scout onto an objective and get it right away if I go first.
Get that middle right away.
Yeah. So I can get it, I move off and go hide.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's mine.
It's stickied. You got to take it from me.
Yeah, and then you got to go in there and expose yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Then I got with the Rhino, and then I also have 2 Predator Destructor tanks.
Right.
I originally took them out, wanted them back in, and there's a reason why I wanted them back in is at that 130 points. I still need some firepower.
Yeah.
And my list right now is really, really shooty.
Yeah,
surprisingly shooty.
Yeah,
I think it's very. A lot of my opponents were thinking that was going to be in their face, but I wasn't.
Yep.
So I did 2 destructive Predator. So they have Predator auto cannons, and both have last cannons. Plague Combi Bolter, and then Havoc Launchers.
Right.
Then I did 2 Plague Burst Crawlers, only entry cannons, no flamers at all on this one. Usually I put the flamer one in the back, but I sacrificed this one for the destructive power. In Calgary meta, we do tend to go a little bit bigger, so I wanted more. Essentially, I just wanted more last cannon or last cannon types. 24-inch range is strength 10. It's a little weaker than a last cannon, but it is, it is deceptively, it can get away some damage and stuff. And absolutely, I got reroll rune rolls of 1 with Mortarion.
For sure.
So I can get it in.
Yeah.
And then I also ran a set of Nurglings. And then my tech for the weekend was Rodigus. So another reason why I had to drop a Plague Burst Crawler is I wanted to fit Rodigus in.
Right.
Oh, I missed a Death Shroud and 3 Death Shroud.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, I normally ran 6 Death Shroud with Lord of Virulence is what I usually did with 4 rerolls. But because I wanted to add in Rodigus is a toughness 12 body, 22 wounds. The saves aren't that great. It's a 4-up invul all the time.
Oh,
but it's so tough because of its 22 wounds and T12 body.
T12 is wild, yeah.
And when I was sitting there wanting to add him in, I was like, I just need some more toughness that would at least know other people's damage output.
Yeah, right.
And most weapons, besides Doomstalkers, are toughness 10 or strength 10.
And las cannons even are 12, right?
They're 12, so you're winning on 4s.
Great, cool.
Right, so I just wanted that extra toughness and out toughness my opponent. If Monk or Breacher Fish were a thing, there was a few here
they will
at this
be
tournament.
A thing one day.
But there were some I considered. With Breachers coming down, you're wounding on 6s with full rerolls. That's probably fine. they're going to live through a breacher shot.
Yes, for sure.
Right? So that's where my thought process went in adding in Rodriguez. And then against Race, I'm just charging the center with them, halving their OC and halving their movement. And then
all the things that Race do best. Half it.
I'm just trying to stop people from doing it. And and then...
Super good.
And then Rodriguez also filled another role. He died every single game. Every single game I played him. No, you killed him.
Oh, eventually I did kill him.
You killed him. You killed him for your assassinate.
That's right. That's right.
Every single game I played him, he did die.
Yeah.
But that was the point. He's 230 points.
Perfectly
It's
fine.
a fine way to throw around. He asks you to dedicate a lot of your firing power to him.
Does he? Yeah.
That it puts you in an off position where my shooting army that you think is a melee army is then equipped to
completely unharassed.
Just completely shoot you.
Yes.
And no line of sight, no cover most of the time because I can just, you're right there. You're in the open.
Yep.
And I'm going to shoot you, and then I'm going to finish it off with Plague Marines or Death Shroud. A lot of times I did separate Typhus with Death Shroud. Sometimes I still put it in the combat melee aggressive list. I put them together.
Okay.
In shooty control ones, I put them away.
Yeah, just have the utility.
Something extra to shoot at, some extra target is really the idea.
Yeah, makes sense.
In our match, I think I put him with.
You did put him with. You had a really good heads up rapid ingress play to kind of support Rodriguez in there because just to give more OC, more harassment to keep my race bottled up.
And your race now hit on 6.
Yeah, race are doing nothing. Race are doing nothing, and I can't have any forward pressure because I can't just leave my.
You can't leave them.
I can't leave.
Yeah, and if you leave it, what's going to support your Doomstalker?
Also, my movement is halved, so I can't leave. I'm actually stuck.
Yeah, you're literally stuck until Rodriguez is gone. So I really enjoyed Rodriguez. I'm going to continue to run him right now for a little bit. I think he's a great tech. The sets of Nurglings were really cool. Sometimes I do take him against the World Leaders matchup, which I'll get into later. I did not. I infiltrated him to stop his scouts. So just like little heads up plays to do. Just to do stuff with. I did miss 2 data sheets off my top of my head.
What's up?
I had 2 flesh mowers.
Flesh mowers.
I had 2 flooded boat drones. I usually kept 1 in reserve and 1 in the field. Again, if I was going against a combat army, I would keep 2 in. Because if they're going to charge me, they go first and they get to a spot, or if they go and then they go first, they stage up and then they go at me. Yeah. I need a counterplay. I need a counter charge or something.
Right.
And having 2 flooded bloat drones can do that, or I put 1 up for them to charge and put them in an off position so I can shoot them down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Either way, it's a counter punch of some kind. Yeah.
It's either to open it up, and I mean they're 90 points.
Yeah.
They're relatively tough.
Yep. Yeah.
And they do smack.
Yeah, they're not getting killed by random bullshit bolter fire, really.
No.
And they're gonna hit hard if you let them.
And they require you to maybe use a CP to get +1 a wound or lethals or whatever. Right. So I really enjoyed them. My first round was Tyranids. I find, depending on, this was like a big monster type Tyranid one, so that was kind of.
Ooh, that wasn't Gord? That was.
No. That wasn't Gord. That was a player from Prince George, actually. Okay. He was a good player.
Cool, yeah.
Deployed quite well. Was respecting my shooting. But then I had to put him in an off position, which I did with Rodriguez and Mortarion, kind of charging up the center and being really, really aggressive with them.
Right.
Because he was going to try to be the control player with a few, I forget what I think the Carnifex is, the 3-man that could do D6 +2 in melee. So I was like, okay, that's my target because that's the only thing that can kill my big guys.
Yes,
right. So I'm going to try to get everything at them. So I put them in, and if you shoot them, they all have like a blood surge move like World Leaders, and they move close to you.
Right.
So you kind of have to put them in a way where like I did that and put a flesh mower to block Mortarion. So if you did it, you're going to get engagement range of my bloat drone, and that's fine. Kill it, and then I'm going to counter charge.
Right.
And then I just
gotcha.
Funny enough, he didn't do that. He decided to go onto the objective instead, in which case I rapided my or the next turn I rapided Death Shroud, and then I had Plague Marines jump out of the Rhino, surrounded him, and left room for Mortarion to charge. So I was like, I'm going to make sure these are dead.
Yeah,
I had 3 units on him. Mortarion killed it. I'm like, oh.
Well, all right then.
All right,
that works, I suppose.
So I ended up taking that game, and then I go to round 2. It was one of my favorite opponents. I've never played him. We've seen each other a few times in the competitive scene. Brandon Powell. He's mostly a 1,000th player, but he played a Chaos Space Marines list.
Right. Yes.
And he did the Hellbrute combo with Forge Fiend and Venom Crawlers.
Yep.
Really, really. You know what?
And good.
Better. Good. You should respect that combo, honestly, because with my Marker Nurgle, they can get sustained on 5s, and then it makes it lethal with Hellbrutes.
Yep. Right. Yeah. Both marks.
He killed Rodriguez turn 1.
Right, you said
Turn 1. Now,
that's crazy. With what is shooting at him now?
2 Venom Crawlers and a Forge Fiend.
That's it.
That's it.
Jesus.
It put him down to 1 wound. No, it put him down to 1 wound,
Okay.
and he charged with his 2 Legionnaires.
Right. Sure.
I made some mistakes in this game. I learned something a little bit more myself with Death Guard. I was not conserving my CP the way I should have been.
Right.
And I used Overwatch Stratagem, I think, one too many times. It did actually punish me in the future that I couldn't half damage from Possessed to save Mortarion.
Right. Okay.
Because it's 2 CP, right?
Yep,
so there was that part, and I think that was my biggest mistake. In round 1, did he go second? He did go second. So I went up to Rodriguez and showed the spot, and then he shot him off the thing. So he actually took my Fortify. But then he went to his Fortify with only 1 Possess, and I drew Tempting Target the next round.
Right.
So I just advanced my Predator tank onto it.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, damn. I should have put more on. I'm like, yeah, well, maybe. But so I got my 5 points. So that was like one mistake on his part, but then the Possessed ended up going towards Mortarion because I put him out in the center. And that we were talking about that might have been a mistake too, but I needed to be aggressive because I needed him in the play. Because Rodriguez is gone. Right. I need things in play. Hold down. Yeah. I need it, and it's vital ground, right? So there's no center objective.
Right.
But I need something going. I need something happening. And I killed Forge Fiend, and I got the Venom Crawler down a little bit, and the Hellbrute was down to 3 or something. Cool. But anyways, he ended up winning.
Okay. Close game or?
It was close till turn 3 or 4, and then it was gone.
Okay, just tipped.
It was gone. Yeah. I think I had.
Losing Rodriguez in that list turn 1, that changes.
And Brandon, you could comment on this though, but it was pretty funny. I had a 3-inch charge with my Death Shroud onto some of his chaff units. I rolled 2 1s. I was like, okay, CP reroll. 2 1s.
No fucking way. God damn.
It happened, yeah. I was like, anyways, it's a dice game, right? I don't think that's gonna change the game, me killing that unit by any means.
But it hurts so fucking bad though.
But it hurts.
Like we've all failed a 6 rerolling from time to time. Fucking 3 rerolling is.
Yeah, she was tough. It is what it is. So
the fucking Chaos Gods were like, fuck you.
Yeah, Cass, get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
So, I ended up losing that one. So I'm now 1-1, going to round 3, and then I go against my buddy Ben.
Right. So we kind of lost this one. But from your side of the table, how do you think it went? I think we talked it out.
We talked it out. It is like, Rodriguez was kind of like the king. Yeah, and I think he really just kind of offset the game. And like I said before, with Ritual, I think the mission favored me. Sure. Having those center objectives relatively close to each other, I can. With my limited mobility, I can get to the spots I need to be and without any penalty.
100%. And the thing that if I were to play it all over again, same opponent, same army, same mission, same everything, I have to remember mobility is my strength in that matchup. Yeah. So I should have had 1 Wraith unit up in that same spot. It's fine. The other Wraith unit in the complete other side.
Yes, that's actually exactly what it was.
If I spread the fuck out of you, make you spread, you're fucked. You're not fucked, but you're way harder.
I'll say, you know what? I should have mentioned this. Now that you mentioned it, I actually remember, and I was like, he put both of them right next to each other. Yep. And I actually got excited.
In other matchups, perfectly fine.
Sure.
That matchup. No. The worst thing to do.
Yeah, I got excited. I remember seeing that. I was like, Rodriguez is going to go right here.
If I shifted those rates the complete opposite side, like where the Immortals ended up.
You're fighting my Plague Marines.
Right.
Cool. Go ahead. Exactly. Go nuts. Ahead. Like, how am I going to...
Well, and also the
I probably win the fight later, but like
Nightbringer's also over there, so you're only charging him first, and like it's a mess otherwise.
It's nuts because the Plague Marine's the one that killed the Nightbringer, right? So it's a mess. I think the Plague Marines do eventually win out on the race, but I think it takes like 2 to 3 turns.
100%. And meanwhile, I'm probably scoring some primary here and there, like rather than how it went. 100%.
Yeah, and you're killing them. Like if you do get damage, so you're killing one.
Oh, I think I wiped 9 of them with 1 activation from a Doomstalker. Right, I just popped off the one time. And you're like, oh, that was like all of them.
Yeah, that does it. Oh, and they're actually really squishy, surprisingly.
Sure, right,
they're not that tough.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, fair. Yeah.
Okay, and then that was the end of day 2 or day 1. So I was 2-1. Feeling pretty good. I got some rest that night. We ended up going to some karaoke.
A little bit of karaoke.
A little fun.
You know, I sang some Johnny Cash. Jeremy sang some. I Did It My Way. What's his name?
Frank Sinatra, of course.
Junior. So some classics. Yeah. We love it.
Yeah. And then we went to day 2. So I got paired up with I actually got the pair up. So I went against the 3-0.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. It was Frazier.
They believed in you? The Chaos Gods believed in you?
No, I lost this one. So I went against the world leaders player, Fraser.
The winner of the tournament.
He won the whole thing.
So,
he was best general.
Whatever.
And then Brandon right now is Brandon at the time too was also 3-0.
Nice.
So anyways, Fraser, holy crap, what a game! I did actually mark him as my favorite opponent,
right,
for the whole thing.
Yeah,
it was like Fraser, Brandon, Ben. But Ben turned into Chris.
I'm not even upset.
Yeah.
I'm not even upset.
But it was such like I didn't even know he won. Like it was kind of pointless because he was best general to like for best sports or whatever. But
right.
He was such a great opponent. We were always going off each other and always trying to help each other in a way. Like, hey, remember I can do this, or like, hey, I also do this. Or like, hey, is this actually how it works? I'm like, yeah, actually, this would probably be your best play.
Love those games.
Yeah, it was just great. We had some jokes. And his list was pretty good. It was like Angron, Karn, Master, MOE.
Yeah, a very like
Berserkers, Rhino, and then he had a very 8-pound heavy. I think he had 2 Exalted and 2 regular.
Yep. And
Chaos Spawn.
Units.
Yeah, he made a mistake early, giving the Chaos Bomb right to the terrain on the objective. I was allowing for Rodriguez to charge in, kill, wipe him out right away. I was able to get kill more a few times and hold more. It was really the game's turns 4 and 5 when he started he started scoring like crazy amount of points.
Yeah.
Because I was losing assets.
Right.
Like he was in my field.
And in Purge of Foe, that's the whole game.
Yeah. Right. And then eventually, because he doesn't have as many units as I do.
That's right.
I lose out on that.
Yep.
And he played so well, and his movement was so technical, and it really kind of pushed me into in awkward positions where I wanted to kill this unit, but it's going to blood surge onto me and put my tank in engagement range. And I was in this really awkward. I was deep in the tank, and I was like, "Hey, I apologize, Fraser. I'm so in the tank. It's fine. Like we have lots of time. Like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Because it was hard, and then in our first 2 turns, we were just both trying to outthink each other.
Yeah,
I did do a cool heads up play. I didn't put the Nurglings in deep strike as I usually do. I infiltrated them.
Yep.
Lined them in a way. I waited. They were my last deployment because I waited for the 8-bound to be deployed.
Yeah.
And then I put them in such a way 2 inches apart that 9 inches away from all his that he couldn't scout into me. So then it actually forced him sideways and it allowed me to stage better.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah, you cut off 5 inches of movement.
Yeah, he's not getting into my backfield. I know his 3rd round opponent from the day before, he absolutely crushed because somebody did the exact opposite of what I did and put everything up there, so he was in the backfield.
That's even more probably than 5 inches movement. I'm giving because it's not only do you deny the scout move a bit, but you also deny their actual move a bit as well. Yeah. Right. So that's a big deal.
Yeah. Huge deal. The only problem with that is purge the foe. I am giving them a free kill.
Of course, on turn 1.
On turn 1, but it exploded his Lord Avocado.
Has to be worth 1 unit of.
Yeah, he threw out his Lord Avocado. So he threw at him, killed the Nurglings, and then I would kill his Lord. Right. But then I killed Lord Chaos Spawn so he could kill more.
Ooh, but if you get the Nurglings are always dying, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, I might as well hit. Like it is whatever. I'm considering maybe I should want -1 save instead of -1 weapon skill blitz skill because he has such killy power anyways.
Right.
Am I shaving it?
And whatever,
am I shaving it? Like, am I actually shaving the damage? Or is it better for me to have the killy power that I have because I'm not as resilient and just make sure a dead whatever can't do any damage?
That's right. It's the best crowd control.
So, I think in the future I'll probably be doing -1 save against world leaders, but will depend on their list, obviously. So anyway, it ended, in his victory. I think it was like 98-79. I made some kind of weird play at the end. It was just trying to go for it because I drew overwhelming force, investigate signals after the CP redraw. Okay. And I was like, I just gotta kill things. I could have gotten for control more at the end. I was second. I could have, but I tried to go kill Angron with my Mortarion, and that was just like I knew it wasn't going to happen.
I remember. I popped by the table towards the end of that, and he was all stoked that the 2 Demon Primarchs.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like you might as well. I'm already losing anyways, and this way I have a higher chance of getting more points.
Right.
If some happens, so I'll just go for it.
Yeah.
Battle points don't really matter as much in this tournament.
They could.
But anyways, so I went for it, and it didn't pay off, and whatever. So he ended up winning. Again, such a fun game. I felt at the end of that, I was like, fuck, I still got 2 more rounds. Oh.
Yeah, you're tired.
Yeah, we're both so deep in the tank.
Well, and a quick commentary on him as a player. I hadn't seen him at any local tournaments and stuff. I guess from what I understand, I think you might have mentioned that he's played a lot of previous edition.
9th, yeah.
But he's relatively new to 10th. I hope we see him again soon because he looks like a fucking great guy to play against and obviously super, super.
He's really good.
Good at what he does.
Yeah, he's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. And then my 5th round opponent was Orcs, bully boys.
Okay, you found one of the bully boys. Yep.
Which again is what my list was kind of kitted towards. It was kitted towards race, bully boys, Monka. Like I was kind of kitted towards that. So I wouldn't say it was an easy one. I think WOG is still very, very hard to deal with. Of course. But I can simplify it a little bit with, again, the shock that my list shoots.
Right, which they hate, obviously. Yeah.
They hate it. I can tarp them out my cultists and tarp it out my Nurglings.
Cool. Yep.
Except I actually did go fixed against him.
Oh,
funny enough,
you love your fixed, eh?
I mostly went tactical this tournament.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've been doing a lot more recently. Hey?
Yeah, my list was kitted towards tactical, but I can do fixed. I don't really like doing fixed as much just because I'm a little bit more CP.
I was gonna say you don't have no CP regen.
No,
like in the list. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I don't like it as much, but I do like round one against Tyranids I went fixed, bring it down, deploy. This one I went assassinate, deploy.
Big bugs. Assassinate, deploy. Oh, interesting. Because there's a boss in every fucking group and everything like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right. I guess that makes sense.
Yep. And I maxed it out right away. Actually, by round 3, I had it maxed.
Cool.
At 20 points.
Nice.
And my deploy was 18 points because I had to deploy twice in the center.
Yeah, sure.
Makes sense. Then eventually I just kind of mortared the thing that was screening me.
Right, so you could get back there.
And then I put my Nurglings back there.
And or whatever.
Yeah, I just stayed back there and just did that.
Yeah.
I had Typhus always fucking rolling ones on his mortals.
We touched on this briefly before we started rolling, but what is your opinions on screaming WA during a tournament? Where you stand on that? I know there's lovers, there's haters. What are you a fan of?
I like it. I like it for the fact that we're having fun in a tournament. We're playing the game that we love.
Yes.
I hate when they yell at my face and they spit in my face.
If you have someone spit in your face during a walk?
No, it's just like when someone's yelling, they don't know how to like control their own.
Yeah, it comes out, right?
Yeah, I don't want it.
The aggression, the excitement.
I don't want it.
100%. I never want a person screaming in my face. But I'm a big fan of the wah in general. Like
All right,
if I hear it ring out through the hall, I get pumped.
Okay.
On the next table over.
Oh, let's see that for the views. Are you guys a wah or a nah-wah?
Hey, you wahers out there?
No, naws or wahs?
Oh, nah or wah.
Nah or wah.
I'm more of a wah.
You're a wah.
honestly.
I'm a nah. I'm a nah.
I'm a nah. Take the nah.
I like it. I like the fact that when someone does it, or it's like it's cinematic and it's cool. But like,
cool.
Could you imagine doing that? So if you're bully boys, 2 times a game, so 12 times.
Hell yes.
I'm a nah.
Give it to me all day.
Yeah.
I wanna play orcs just so I can wah twice a game and scream through the fucking rafters.
Yeah, and the match ended up being super fun. Cool. That Makari little token thing just shaved off Mortarian's attacks for 3 turns, actually.
Right.
Just 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, 2 up. I was like, can you just die?
Just stop
Just die.
The luckiest drop, man. That's
well, Mortarian eventually did kill Gaz. Sure. Anyways, so we got there and then shot some things off the board. The Mega Knobs did almost nothing. The Knobs did more. They killed almost the entire Plague Marine squad on a fight on death. And this was interesting because my fight first, he doesn't want to charge me. So I ended up charging that unit because I'm going to just fight it. But he fights on death on a 3-up with the wall.
Yes.
Okay. Right. I killed 7.
Okay.
He rolled 7 3-ups.
Oh.
So I was like,
that hurts.
And then he killed, I think, 8 Marines in that one.
Sure.
And the problem with that is that they're not choosing to fight, so I can't activate my -1 damage, which deals 2 damage weapons.
They are not being chosen to fight
because they're not activated. Like my unit's not being targeted as a fight, so I can't use that stratagem.
Interesting.
Because they're fighting on death.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's
an awkward
out of phase fight almost.
It's their way of fighting on first to get around it.
Right. Interesting. I did not know that. I didn't know that interacted with strats that way.
Yeah, because it's when a unit is activated for a fight and chooses your let's see, my Plague Marines as a target.
Right. So your strat would be like when a unit is selected as a target
from the fight.
Right.
But they're fighting on death.
So you're not being selected as a target. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I didn't know that.
Well, that's the way I played it. So that's where we both our opponents agreed, and I was like, "Fuck, that's weird and awkward."
Fuck.
I'm not. I guess I'm not using my 2 CP because like that's what I conserve it for. These melee matches, I conserve my CP for 2-up fight on death, and like I don't use Cloud of Flies ever. Right? Like it flips. Right.
Of course. Yeah. Where you're putting your strats. Yeah. For sure.
Anyways, I ended up getting that one. It was I think I got him by only like 84 to 64 or something like that. It was Good it was definitely dominating the game for the most part. I think he on turn 3 when he killed most of my Plague Marine squad and Rodigus, that was like, okay, you just got 500 points out. Okay, this is where we're at. Okay,
all right.
So then I started losing some resources, and that's when it gets a little tricky for me. But Predator to starter tanks in the knobs are just it's a joke.
Run them over. Yep.
Yeah, like you're saving on your invul, and it's 3 damage each. Yeah, your 4 up Feel No Pain is something, but I have a lot more coming at you that it can kind of shave it off.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that was round 5. Going to round 6, again, one of my favorite opponents is actually one of the boxcar guys too.
That's right. Yep.
Chris, and it was Blood Angels, and that was a really, really fun game. We had some cool things. I made a super huge mistake right off the bat. I forgot Redeemers have Flamers, and I was like, Cultist, move over here. He's like, I Overwatch. I'm like, right.
Oh, shit.
Oh, and so they're gone. I'm like, hey, there's 50 points. But I thought I played that really well. What I basically did in that game was my Playburst Crawlers only hit his scoring units.
Right.
For the indirect. So I was only hitting his scouts or his infiltrators, and that's all I was doing. Rodigus charged right down the middle.
Sure. So he got charged by a death company or something, right?
No, Rodigus never got. He eventually got charged, yeah. Okay. But it was after. So I charged a death company unit that was sitting in, trying to hold an objective, killed that whole unit, stayed there. Then he tried to shoot it with flamers and multi-meltas. That just does nothing against him. It does nothing.
Yeah.
I ended up charging his Land Raider and killing the Land Raider, and that death company unit inside is the one that charged and killed him eventually.
Gotcha. Right.
Funny thing is, he had 2 secondaries. He had Extend Battle Lines and Defend Stronghold. And when my Rodigus exploded, which it did, it killed the 2 infiltrators that were on his home objective.
Oh, God.
And those death companies that have are OC0.
Right, so they're not holding home
So he can't get extend or deploy.
On his turn.
Oh, he can't get extend or defend.
On his turn, he lost his home objective when he had defend and extend in hand.
Yeah, and in round 3, I drew capture enemy outpost, and that's why Rodigus was like right there.
So he just beelined across?
Yeah. I'm just going to go this way.
Oh, my God. That's the worst feeling in the
he didn't score any secondaries. And there was 2 turns in that game. He didn't score secondaries. It was like,
right. Yeah, because you could have a bad draw and not score one round. It could happen, whatever. But then another round is
from his own demise.
As another disaster.
Yeah, it was just like, and we didn't realize it until like after he's like, oh my God, Cass.
What just happened?
They just killed him. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't even think. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy game, but really it was like clap back on the right hand side or try to clap me and try to infiltrate my backfield, and it just was clap back out.
Try to clap you in the backfield. I mean, I know that feeling.
I put Materian out for like kind of a bait, and it did get his jump pack intercessors out.
Yep.
And they did charge, but at that point, when they set up to charge, I rapid ingress my Death Shrouds to set up a heroic intervene.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Super. Yeah. That's a great play. That's a very heads up play.
Yeah. So then I could get the heroic intervene, and now you're dealing. Materian dies. You're still dealing my Death Shrouds, and you're still in combat, and I'll probably just win out.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't ever want to. What was the jump pack? Like, how big was the jump pack squad there?
10. So it's 45 attacks.
So you could like maybe have split some ways, but you as the heroic interventioner are choosing how many models he's even going to get in that fight. If you wanted to like put some into your death shroud.
Yeah, because I could just go in. I could go in with one, but I actually rolled a pretty high one, so all three
so
and Typhus touch.
Put some that way, but if he does, but that's a crazy calculation to try and make. It's like, how many do I need to put into fucking Mortarion to kill him? All of them probably.
Yeah, and he did, and Mortarion actually ended up living.
He did live.
3 wounds.
Didn't even kill him. Oh, Jesus.
It's 1 damage weapons.
Yeah, right.
45, but he has lance and lethals. He got a lot of lethal the first roll, and then the reroll because of Oath. He got like 2 more extra, and then I ended up saving half on 4 ups.
Right, and then 5.
And then 5 Feel No Pains.
Yeah. Yep. The math is mathing.
So out of 45 attacks, he got 13 damage through. That's pretty good.
That 13 damage through is pretty good, actually. Yes.
Yeah, with 45 attacks.
Against Mortarion, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wild.
So I think mathematically, he always survives or lives. But
yeah, now that I think about it, probably so. I forgot they were just flat 1 damage. It's
they would have always
been
the
Death Company are 2 damage.
The Death Company are 2 damage, but they always would be 1 damage because I had
You would have to even if it was 2.
Yeah, that was the idea, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
I actually set up, and then when he said, "Oh, they're only 1," I'm like, well then, I guess I got 2 CP.
I got 2 CP.
I got to do other things. I guess what I did with it, I heroic intervened.
Hey.
That's what I did.
That's very
so.
Smart.
Yeah, it ended up. I think it was like 19-1 for that one.
Yep.
Really, really fun match though. Had a lot of again, this whole tournament was awesome. So I ended up 4-2 the whole thing and ended up in the 11th place.
11th place.
Really obviously my strength schedule was really high because the 2 losses I had was Frazier, who won the whole thing at Best General, and then Brandon, who was 5th place.
3rd.
Brandon was 3rd place, so I lost to 1st and 3rd on my only losses. And Brandon and Frazier played in the finals because they were both the 5-0 bracket.
Yeah.
So going into round 6, I had the highest strength of schedule because I had the 2 guys. Yeah, my only losses were the 2 guys.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, no, yeah, that definitely bumped you up. And 4 and 2 is very impressive in this field. I think like not only was it a lot of fun, but general consensus was like that was some stiff competition. Like that was a very good, well-matched tournament. I was looking at the results after round 1, and it was like, of course, you're gonna always have like a couple blowouts, but I would love to go back and like crunch some numbers on some of this. I think round 1, I would estimate just on a quick browse, 85% of the games were within like 12 points. Like
Crazy.
It was a good tournament.
Very good tournament. Very good. I think the skill level in Calgary is just really, really high. I think it's really, really 100%. Tough to, but you know, the people are also great and they want to help you.
Yes, for sure.
You know,
like then, and there's always that finding that fine balance between holding your opponent's hand and having a competitive game, right? I can't give you everything. I can't warn you about everything every single time. No, obviously I want to win the game.
I'm not playing solitaire.
I'm not playing your army and my army.
Yeah. We're not doing
right?
that.
We're not
but
doing
I want to help. Like I do want to help my opponent. Like, hey, by the way, I can do this because gotchas can only get you so far. And also, I don't want to play the gotcha game because then eventually you're going to go against an opponent who knows all the rules, and then you're trying to gotcha him. Like, you're an asshole.
And especially with Canoptic Court, that was what I kind of experienced too. Was like the Canoptic Court has a lot of gotchas. It's like the Lone Op and the Reactive strat are full on gotcha stuff. And even if every game I gave them the heads up, hey, just so you know, these are the 2 big strats. This is what I'm going to be looking to do, and that kind of covers you for the game. So I wouldn't really, if I would be with my rights to just gotcha that for the rest of the game.
Oh, and then you got me a few times with not intentionally, but you, like with the Lone Up, like, oh right, and I'm like, okay, well it's fine. I did sure up my shots, so
it does happen. It's going to happen probably in every game at Propping at
100% it will.
It just is what it is. That's the nature of that detachment. It's the nature of that game,
and that strat in general.
And that's those strats exactly. So as long as you're and everybody is pretty good. I've had very few bad instances of bad players here in Calgary. Everybody's wants to play a good game. They want to play the best players. They want to compete well and be good sports. Like we have ties for best sport all the time. I think they had enough ties for best sport that they started actually giving like everybody got a little sheet now this time for your best, like your number 1 best sport, your number 2 best sport, number 3. They didn't say this outright, but I think it's because we have ties for best sport all the time, which is a good, amazing thing to see.
Yeah, I love the Warhammer community here. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're amazing.
But we are at an hour and a half here, so let's wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a little recap of our insanely long tournament over the weekend.
Yeah, it was a good one.
A lot of fun. I loved it. Ben's gonna go play another match right now. I have another match tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you have a tournament over the weekend.
This coming weekend, you got it.
Yeah, teams event. I won't. I wanted to go to that one, but life gets in the way, and we actually got a wedding, and I'm pretty excited about that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're getting out of the city this week, so I'm pretty fun with that.
Anywhere cool?
I have no idea. No. I'm gonna cut that out.
Confidential information.
I don't know. It's somewhere cool. It is that town though.
It's redacted actually.
Redacted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy. So yeah, this is great. Again, guys, hey, if you do like our content, you want to see more of it, like and subscribe. It does help us build more and kind of see what you guys like and then work on that. So thank you again for listening, and thank you for all the likes and subscribes and the comments, all the questions. I hope we answer the best we can. A lot of them are really good, and it's been really active, and I can't believe how much it's blown up.
Yeah, the engagement has been fantastic. It's the weirdest thing in the world when you go to like a local gaming store and someone says, "Hey, BLOODBATH.TACTICS," and you're like, "Oh yeah, that is me. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that is me.
I am that. Yeah, we are those guys. Yeah,
very nice to meet you." So the support's been great. Like, commenting, subscribing. Of course, everybody knows you got to smash the notification bell. Of course.
Yeah,
otherwise
you
won't get
smash
notified.
it whenever you have a video. So this is being filmed right now on the Monday right after the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, you guys, for your support, and we'll do this again soon. Battle reports coming soon, different content coming soon.
Yeah, we've been working on that.
Cass kind of teased it a little bit. We're working on some new stuff. You won't have to look at our ugly mugs maybe every single time. Maybe some new guys. We'll